Phil.
Hello.
How are you?
Peachy. How are you?
I'm good, and I'm happy to say that today we have my favorite twins
Really?
in history.
Are they beautiful twins?
Oh, there were twins in high school. We'll talk about that some other time. But they are beautiful twins. They're beautiful minds, beautiful comedic minds.
I know who they are. I'm going to say they're beautiful too.
So let's get to know two people who are more identical than we are by a long shot, the Sklar Brothers.
Let's spill the beans, chew the fat, food for thought, jokes on tap. Talking with our mouths full, having fun. A piece of cake and humble pie, serving up a slice of life. Leave the dressing on the side, it's naked lunch. Clothing optional.
So you know my buddy Mike Royce very well.
Very well. We have we encouraged Mike Royce to start writing so he could write for you.
And not a Jew.
Not a Jew,
I know,
and yet
not a Jew,
a
but-
Buddhist of all things.
Nobody's
We allowed to
perfect.
eat?
How dare
Are we
we?
going to wait and eat? What are we
We're not
doing?
waiting. This is from Goop, who I love.
Love Goop.
I love her. I love everything she does. And I think she's done a phenomenal job with the Goop Kitchen.
And do you know why it's good to love Goop is I find wives will accept Goop rather than going through the 14 different things you can order. Goop is always an acceptable option.
This is
Look at Jews don't wait. Look at how they look. He hasn't been here 3 seconds. Already a mouthful of food.
How many vagina-scented candles do you have from Goop? And that's what I need to know
I
from
ordered the
John.
vagina
I have so
scented
many
chicken.
jokes I can't do
Why?
because this is nice. This
The
thing.
family show. What'd you get? First of all, what'd you get? I need to know your order.
He got the vagina-scented wrap.
Wrap? Okay. Fair.
I find it's best in a wrap.
We do.
I find it's hard to find in a wrap.
Yeah,
Right.
I can't find the actual center of it.
I have some Max and Helen's hot sauce if you like.
Oh,
I heard you were there for
We were
Alex
for
Edelman's
Alex's
birthday.
It
You,
was
you don't understand. My wife went numerous times with my daughter and didn't bring me.
Where
But
do you live?
I live in Laurel Canyon.
Not far.
He lives,
I'm his neighbor.
I will say, my dog and
Is
I
this why
walk
this-
past your house most every day.
You
And every
leave
once
present.
in a while, I
Oh.
get to talk to your wife. No, my dog has never shat anywhere near your house.
My house? Okay,
my
good.
dog shits exclusively at Dana Gould's house.
Yes.
And I don't know if that's a reflection on his taste in
Shitting on
comedy.
Dana Gould.
No, my dog wants to shit on
never.
Dana Gould's like little hill and always squats and then it rolls down to her foot. I'm like, you can't shit on Dana's house anymore. You cannot do this.
I love celebrity house shooting.
Yes.
That's a show.
Celebrity
That might-
house shitters.
Exactly. It's the only show
You know,
haven't been on or
That's
hosted.
actually called the Real Housewives of Rhode Island. Guys, we'll be right back. Are we on? Are we rolling?
We're on. We don't wait.
Like every
Are we running?
podcast, we've already finished.
I love it so
Okay.
much.
I love it. It's so
we
good.
maximize our time.
Who are sponsors?
You hot? You want to take off your thing?
Do I need to take on my thing? I'll take on my thing.
I just want to see you without your thing.
I can't believe I want. I want to see you without your thing, which is what I said to the vagina scented wrap.
It's funny what you said when you walked in is like, how do you and Phil you two and Phil not know
It's
each other? really?
ridiculous. So we have
I couldn't believe
We
that.
have
We've
so
met.
many connections.
We've
First of all,
met.
we should have worked with you or for you numerous times. Like that, I feel like
I
how
didn't
that-
turn you down, did I?
No. We it just hasn't.
Our paths have never.
You turned me down.
No, good God, no.
No, we'd work with you in a second, in a heartbeat.
All right, David, get up.
We work with David.
Why?
It came up.
That didn't come out the way I.
No, why would you?
It came
Why
up
would
on
he?
the Kathy Griffin episode because we served in the military together with Kathy Griffin. That
thank
sounds
you.
a little unlikely at this
Thank
point.
you for your service, by the way. I didn't even come
We
up.
also watched. I don't know if you saw this backstage. I was relating this to somebody else.
You did not see this.
We watched Nicki Minaj make Katy Perry cry, which was crazy.
Wait, are you allowed to tell this story?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Was it public?
We checked with Nikki and Katie, and they both
we checked with
and
Trump.
Justin Trudeau.
We checked with Donald Trump, who said Nikki could tell the story.
How long ago was this?
This was
When
when,
did
we
we do
did the
2010?
Divas salute the
Sounds
troops.
about right.
11. This was a while ago.
It was VH1 Divas, a salute to
Divas
the
salute
troops.
to the troops.
Which
Down
I'm
at-
like, the troops are like, you know who we need to hear from? More divas.
right. You know what music we need to hear? Katy Perry.
All right, so tell us what happened.
So, I think Katy wanted to rehearse, and Nicki took her rehearsal time.
Like, didn't ask and just jumped in as like, I'm here, I'm rehearsing. And Katy was like, I think she wanted more time to go through the works. And so she needed to rehearse early so that she could then put on the face and do the whole thing. And the timing wasn't working out. And so Katy like requested that Nicki just let her do her thing first. And then Nicki
Would not. And then they confronted each other like on stage, like we're watching all this. And again, we wrote a whole sketch for Nicki or for Katy and Kathy to do that I thought was really funny, but not in front of 20,000 people. It was funny to us.
Right.
But like didn't really fly over. And we're like, it's gonna be great. And Kathy's like, and
It
Katie's,
didn't fly over with the military.
it didn't fly over, although it did fly over with the flyover. But that was a crazy moment that like we witnessed like two.
What made her cry?
I think Nicki was kind of like just rough. She kind of puffing out her chest a little bit about like, this is my time and this is not your time.
Who the hell are you to tell me what to do? You can't tell me what to do.
I don't think Katy was prepared for someone to like come at her. Like, because when you're that big, people don't come at you. People don't question you. It's like if Katy Perry's like, I want this rehearsal time, she gets it. And then you have all these divas, and it's the mixing of divas, which is very difficult. And then like who is, and Nicki Minaj was not backing down. And I think Katy Perry just took offense to that, and she just like broke down and cried.
The weird thing is, in addition to being brilliant comedians, who I saw very recently, and I'm like, we were discussing this before you got here, that like, we don't even, it harkens back to this idea of when we first fell in love with comedy, where there was an act, like
Yes.
two brothers doing this sort of synchronized or naturally synchronized material. It's crazy because it sort of feels, and that was our question. Were you at all, I don't know if there was, you're too young for this.
Was there a vaudeville influence?
Was there any influence
None.
of anyone from the past like that?
So we were aware of the Smothers Brothers. Our joke was that mom always loves the Smothers Brothers more than
Oh, they're terrible for us.
no, but I think we were aware of it, and I think early on in our career there were people who were trying to steer us into like, okay, one of you is going to be the funny man and the other one's going to be the straight man, and we were like, that's not what we want to do. First of all, it's already been done to perfection by
Why would we do it again?
Smothers Brothers. So, and we're twins, and so maybe there's a postmodern take on the team that can be sort of reflective of how a more nuanced approach, which you could argue makes us more unique. And also you could argue, well, maybe that's like been a hindrance. But I think it's more interesting because it reflects more of what it is to be sort of imperfect carbon copies of each other and versions of the same person or different people.
And was this the way you naturally grew up? Meaning, did you complete each other's sentences? Because I know there's a symbiosis in twins that you just, it's not mind reading, but it's kind of like it.
Do you have siblings? You have siblings.
I do. He's terrible.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, his running joke is how he acts like he hates working with his brother on Somebody Feed Phil.
Okay.
I think they secretly quite enjoy it.
Right.
I have an older brother, 2 years older, completely the greatest guy in the world. But brothers in an act, I know from music, almost inevitably, I've been around the Oasis guys.
yes.
I've been around the Kinks.
Sure.
Yes.
Ray and Dave. I've been around
Ann and Nancy Wilson we saw.
Well, they got along for many years, and then they had a major fall.
They did.
Did you make each other cry?
No, we
we did
made
not.
Ann and Nancy Wilson
Wilson
cry. Which was another thing that was it's our time to rehearse. No, but
I'll go crazy on you. How about that?
also weird song to sing and then mingle afterwards. I'm gonna go crazy on you. I'm gonna go crazy on you. There's not a guy who's like, give me some of that. You know what I mean? I love my life, but I'd like a little.
I'm gonna go crazy on you.
The woman who is
I have to say,
openly
no
telling
one's
you,
ever said that to me.
right? I want to go crazy on you.
It was originally Magic Men, a love song to the two of them.
the two of
but
us,
then it was
and then they
awkward.
changed
And
it.
we confronted him.
But let me put it into another context. You have your siblings and you have stories that you grew up with. Mom and dad did this, or we did this when we moved here. The two of you can equally tell that story. And if the two of you were telling someone who had never heard it before, okay, we went to Nippersink, Wisconsin on this. We were 8 years old and dad he was fishing and he fell into the thing, and you tell the whole story. The two of you can go back, can tag team on that story. That sort of idea swirls with us, and the fact that we are twins, the fact that we listen, we have a good come from the world of listen to what the person is saying, and it's almost like I describe it as if you've ever driven a manual car. You get good at knowing when to push the clutch down and when to put the gas down, and it just becomes this thing that you're just good at after a while.
It's the comedic version of In Harmony, Everly Brothers or the Beach Boys. Relatives have lock in harmonically in a way that's usually even.
And I'm assuming, and because I've watched so much stuff about the Beach Boys, I love the Beach Boys and love the going into the Wilderness albums, the Hollands and the Surf's Up, and when Brian Wilson was going crazy, and when Van Dyke Parks came in and started writing lyrics that Mike Love was like, "What are we doing?" Like we're
Mike was like, "I want to do a song where at the end of it, I have sex with a woman in the studio. Can we put that on tape?" And we're like, "Hey, okay,
who's got the coconuts?" Like that. It's it was weird, but I love the Beach Boys. But there were just moments where. And I've been listening so much to this other podcast, which I'm sure you know. I'm sure you absolutely know the guy, Andrew Hickey, History of Rock Music in 500
I don't know him,
songs.
but I know the podcast.
Okay. I walk our canyon many days listening to that podcast.
So it's an unbelievable deep dive.
Not this one.
Yeah, if I'd known that, I would not have invited him on this. I would have invited him on that podcast.
No. But it's an unbelievable deep dive. And the guy is he gives disclaimers and all that. He's very conscious of making sure that no one is offended by anything, which I really appreciate and love. But at the same time, it is
sometimes it's too much.
It's over the top.
So I asked Dana Gould, our dear friend, who's a great comedian and writer. I asked him. I said, "Hey, have you heard it? Because I know you love music. Have you heard of this podcast, History of Rock Music?" Through 500
He didn't say yes, I've heard it.
He just looked at me and he was like, "In today's episode, there's mention of a chimney sweep. If that triggers you, then maybe you should be." And I'm like, "Oh, you know the thing. You know the thing." And he, of course, had a funny joke locked in about it. But
but he goes into such a deep dive of all these, the story of in ways that I'd never heard told before. But there was a moment where I'm like, oh, there's this Chicago song, Wish You Were Here, which the three Wilson brothers sing backup on, and I never really knew that, but now I'm listening to it. I'm like, oh yeah, they just seamlessly walked into the studio, and there's this, to bring it back, there's this symbiosis between the three of them.
And sometimes you can't tell who's singing when, you don't know which Wilson brother is singing, and that sometimes happens with us when people listen to us on our podcast or hear our comedy. They're like, I'm not quite sure which brother said that thing, but together it comes together and it forms like music. And so our bits tend to be longer, 3-4 minutes long, and they play like music, which is cool because
there is a rhythm
there's
that
a
you
rhythm
get into, and it does seem like music to me.
Yeah,
and even the audience laugh is in
part of it.
Yes.
Right, it's like the percussion.
So I'm sure this evolved.
Yeah.
So first time you did any semblance of this was when you were children?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we grew up in St. Louis, Missouri.
I know it. Very nice.
Very nice.
What's your favorite restaurant in St. Louis?
Yeah.
You got to give me a minute.
Have you been on the Hill? All the Italian restaurants on the Hill?
Yes, and I had fried ravioli.
Toasted ravioli is the best.
Sorry, toasted.
Did you go to Ted Drew's?
Here's what they said with toasted ravioli. Someone was like,
No.
okay, we're going to take ravioli.
Yes.
Already not that healthy for you. Meat and a little bit of cheese inside the ravioli.
Yes.
We're going to fry it.
This is so good.
We're going to fry it. Yes.
Sprinkle some cheese on top. Great. That's enough to kill you.
And
then we're going to give you a little bowl of meat and cheese sauce for you to dip that into.
Yes.
You haven't had enough. Dip a little more and then you're good.
And we're going to call it toasted because that sounded
better than fried.
Fried.
By the way, we're not your fancy History of Rock and Roll podcast.
Yeah.
But food.
Go back to our Vince Gill episode to hear the greatest country music ravioli story of all time involving George Jones, Vince Gill, Conway Twitty, and ravioli.
Conway Twitty.
Trying to get people to turn to that.
Very problematic, Conway Twitty. Let's go back and listen to his catalog of songs.
I went to he had Twitty City, which was the low-rent Dollywood of the time.
Yeah.
Not a magical place.
You're like, you must be under this age to ride this thing. You're like, okay.
Oh, stop
Conway
it.
Twitty.
Stop it.
He has a song that
I'm
says...
part of the itty-bitty Twitty committee.
Yeah,
like,
it's
nope.
Conway Twitty's has a song that's like, drink this and lie very still. That's
like,
not
no,
a good
no.
song. That is not a good song for you to
Come on
sing,
now.
Conway Twitty.
Wow.
Anyway.
So your first time for
So
outside of
you
the
were
home-
children.
Yes.
14.
So, and
St. Louis.
tell me about that night.
Well, we were huge
day.
fans of comedy. And I think we had cable TV before most people in St. Louis or on the early adapters of it. And Rodney Dangerfield was doing his young comedian specials. And I think we saw like the 9th version of it, which was
Seinfeld.
Sam Kinison, Rita Rudner, Bob Saget, Robert Townsend. Postscript, we just met Robert Townsend in St. Louis and hung with him. And he could not have been cooler and could not have been better and knew who we were. It was like such a full circle moment as we like proceeded to do the first few minutes of his act for him from that thing. So we would learn everybody's sets. And you know, our parents would have like their friends over to play bridge in the basement, and you know, the parents would be like, "What's going on with you guys? How you doing?" And we would immediately launch into like, "What's the deal with the shower radio? You want to dance on a slick surface next to a glass door?" I mean, Seinfeld's bits, and they've never heard them because at that point, no one knew who Seinfeld was. Right. This is a great story about us like thinking.
We saw Seinfeld in St. Louis in like '87, and we were at the Westport Playhouse in St. Louis.
1,000 seats in the
theater.
theater.
Good gig for him, but like we walk out of there and we're like, that's the funniest comedian we've ever seen. It's a crime that no one in America is going to know who Jerry Seinfeld is.
No one's going to know who Seinfeld is.
Why are we the only ones who know who he is?
We will keep this secret to our grave. Anyway, so we were just so dumb. But
when you see Seinfeld and you come back, you do it for the family.
Yeah.
Is it already in this cadence?
Kind of. Yes. Yeah. Because we both saw, going back to the story.
Because it's how you talk anyway.
Right. Because we both saw it.
Yes.
We both loved it. We both have this energy to want to do it. And so we would get laughs with other people's material, which is your first thing of like, ooh, this is kind of cool. And then we were always like kind of funny amongst, our dad was a funny guy, but never in like a writing material. He was like a funny, fat guy, large dude who was just gregarious. Like he would take us on errands like on a Saturday, give our mom a break, and like we would just sit in the back of his car while it was running. Basically, like he used to show houses too. He did real estate in addition to his thing, and he would be showing a house, and like the car would be on, the Cardinals game would be on the radio. Jack Buck, Mike Shannon, and we're sitting in the back of a running car outside of a house, like. Hey, child molesters, you want to take 2 of these kids? They're here, and the car is running.
You get a car and
you get
kids.
a Chevrolet Monte Carlo and these 2 twins.
But it was a 2-door.
Just
and the
fill
door.
the tank when you're done.
Right,
Yes.
and just bring it back. Just bring back the car. And
We don't
so
care about the kids.
Our dad, but he would go into the cleaners and pick up his shirts for the week or whatever. And we're in the back of the car, and we're just watching him. And within 30 seconds, whoever he was talking to would start laughing or smile. And, you see that enough as a kid. I think it shows us in a weird way that has nothing to do with the business or anything. There's value in making people laugh.
A way to be in the world.
Yes.
And not
connect.
get picked on so much.
Not get picked
and
on.
maybe meet a lady.
And maybe meet a lady and connect with other people.
You all veered towards lady. You got a little
Lady,
thing.
or our dad used to do a thing where he'd go to a restaurant and he'd see someone he knew. This is when we were very
great,
little,
like life bit.
He'd see someone he knew, but didn't see him, and he'd send us over to the table at like 3 or 4 years old to go interrupt another family's
See that guy over there? Go.
guy in the plaid jacket. Go over to that guy and just look at him for a minute, and then say, "Daddy." Okay.
Such a good
That's
bit.
a great bit. Perfect.
It's a great bit. And so we would walk over and do this and like just watch like a marriage crumble. No, we'd watch like people be like, who the hell are these kids?
And then our dad would be by the
pop out from the hostess stand and
so
wave.
he wasn't writing bits. He was a salesman, and he worked for a paper company in St. Louis called Tension Envelope. Tension in the name. Nobody wasn't like named after the Tension family, but like, so we had a regular job where he had to be, where he had to be personable with people, and
he brought it home. We loved it.
So
then
we
there was
realized that's funny.
And then there was a talent show at our high school, 14 years old. And we were
I knew this was going to be a talent show
let's
story.
go. We're
Yes.
like, let's do it. We like comedy.
Yes.
Let's do comedy. So we took some bits that we knew we loved from the people that we thought, and then we wrote some material about our high school. We did a whole bit about the math club, and they needed new marketing to get new people to come in, and they needed the guys who did the truck and tractor pull commercials for those things. And so we wrote a truck and tractor pull commercial for our math club. And that was probably our best bit. And it got such a big response, and it is similar to what we do. We were bouncing back and forth, and we were we never questioned, are you going to go on stage? And then am I going to go on stage?
How do we do this? We just were like, all right, let's do it
together.
That's called a healthy naivete.
A healthy naivete.
Right.
Or we both
call that a blind spot in the business.
or we just or the organic, allowing something to be organic, not thinking about what's the best possible version of what we're doing. It's like, let's do the thing we love, and maybe it turns into something. I mean, I remember,
we didn't even say maybe it turns into something.
No,
then.
we just were like, maybe it goes well tonight. Who knows? And so we did it and went well. And then randomly, this is crazy. We, through Jewish Youth Group, BBYO, our friend lived in Kansas City. He was doing comedy sports. He was 16. We were 15. He was, you know, an advanced guy, Jeff Goldsmith, who later came out here and did some great writing about film stuff. He developed some, you know, he was a director, and we gave him some work on our ESPN show, Cheap Seats, and just a great guy. He called us in St. Louis and said, hey, do you guys have a tape of you doing stand-up? And we're like, as a matter of fact, we do. We
only
just did
one copy.
We just did stand-up. And he said, okay, you need to send it to this address. There's a place in LA. They're doing a young comedian special, and they're taking submissions.
Wow.
16 and under. You guys should submit.
Wow.
We said, okay, we'll submit. So we didn't know anyone in St. Louis. No one in our family had done it. No one we didn't even know how to dub a tape. We called the guy who made our bar mitzvah tape. We're like, can you dub this tape?
Do you have two VCRs connected together? He said, yeah. So
he dubbed a tape. We're like, don't
Scott
dub over
Keller.
Scott Keller. Don't dub over our bar mitzvah. Just
R.I.P. Scott Keller. He's not dead. I just want him to get a good night's sleep.
That's right.
Just rest.
rest in peace.
Peacefully rest on a nice sleep number bed.
So he takes the tape. We send it into this production company, Ruben and Core, I think was their name. Like, I don't even know if they exist anymore. I'm assuming they don't. And they were doing this special for Disney with Mark Price. Do you remember him? Who played Skippy on Family Ties. He was a stand-up from the 80s.
Yeah.
And he was going to host because he was a young stand-up at the time, and they were going to get young comedians. And so we sent it in, and then we never thought anything about it. About 3 or 4 months later, we get a phone call. I remember we're at dinner with our parents. Phone rings. Randy and Jason Sklar there. We answer the phone, and they said, listen, we've seen hundreds of submissions, and you're in our top 10 for this thing. And we're like, for what? And comedy. And then we're like, wait, what? The tape we sent in? Yes. So they're like, okay, you can't use material from other comedies. Like, obviously. And they're like, okay, so this week, next Tuesday, go up and record a new set, all original material.
Oh.
And then send that back in, and we'll let you know how things are going. And so we're like, wait. And they gave us a ton of other notes and thoughts that are things we couldn't figure out for 10 years. Like,
that was your first brush with self-taping.
Right. Self-taping, and also someone giving you feedback and
not paying you yet?
But not paying us. But
wait, there was original material because you doing stuff about the school, right?
Yeah. So they said you could lift out any material that belongs to anyone else, replace it with more original material, and have a full set of your own original material, so we can present what the set
how much time did they want?
Like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It's a lot to ask.
It's a lot to ask 14-year-olds who've only done stand-up once.
Right.
15 at this point. And so we...
Thank God you were past your bar mitzvah, so you had focus.
But so we were men at this point.
In the eyes of the Lord.
As a guy. So we... and Kevin Spacey. All right. So we were men.
Scott Keller.
Can we say that?
Scott Keller, R.I.P.
So we go to we call them up. We say, look, we can't. We call up the comedy club. They said we're supposed to go on Tuesday.
And they're like, how old are you? We're like 15. They're like, you can't.
You're not
it's
going.
a bar. You can't perform here. We call back the production company. Said they won't let us go because it's food. They said, hold on 1 second. They call up. And then the club calls us right back and is like, you're on at 8:15 or something like that
on Tuesday.
Wow.
So then we're like, oh no, how do we do this? Like, careful what you ask for, because now we got to do this. And we wrote a whole thing, and I mean, this is like at a time in 1987.
And by the way, you are great writers. I've been around you guys.
Oh, thank you.
Beyond being very, very funny, you're great writers. But that's a lot. At that age.
Ask, and we weren't prepared for it in any way, shape, or form. And so,
but you don't know that you can't do it.
We don't know that we can't do it.
The healthy naivete that allows you to sort of go forward and say, we're going to try it. And so, we wrote this really conceptual. It's so funny because our tendencies even back then were going to lead somewhat to twisting the thing that just twisting it a little bit.
Right. I mean, the very basis of who we are as a comedy team is a twist on a comedy team. We love to twist. We love to take this thing that you have an expectation about and twisting it. You go see us do stand up. We don't talk about being twins, but the presence of being twins and the symbiosis and the back and forth, that's woven in through everything. But we feel like if we only talked about being twins, we'd be so one-dimensional, and that would not be worth, there's nothing exciting or twist. So we did a whole thing at the time in the mid 80s. I'm sure you remember, there were some comics who used to do like big rap song finishes, like a big hilarious.
They're gonna close.
I mean, Barry Sobel did the best one, but like, you know, other comedians would start to close with their big rap song finish. So our bit, which was such a bit about comedy, was that we were going to do a big rap finish, and we kept like hinting like we're going to have a big rap finish at this thing. We're going to do a huge
very meta for your
big
age.
Rap finish. So you guys ready for the rap finish? This is a big rap. We've been gotten into rapping. We're so into rapping, and we pull presents out.
And we just start
rapping, gift wrapping presents.
Which I don't think the crowd in St. Louis on a Tuesday night in 1987 like even understood.
But we were so green that we thought that's the end of the bit. But to me, if we were doing that bit today, we would probably start talking about what we were doing and then making it rhyme and then making it have a cadence and then get it super hard and super street and super edgy. And then that's the joke on the joke that the twists and keeps turning and keeps it. But we didn't know to do that much. So we just kind of did the thing, and it got some titters and some laughs and whatever. And we did fine. We survived. Like that.
And you were on the TV show?
No, we sent it in, and we sent that back in, and the TV show never happened. But for us, knowing that
Mark Price actually just called.
Yeah, they're doing it. It's happening. They're doing the show. Old comedians.
So no, but we that was enough for us of a bite to say,
yeah, you got laughs from a professional audience
and a professional production company said there's something in there. I don't know what it is, but there's something inside of this thing that you guys are doing that's interesting.
So it wasn't you didn't make the show. The show never happened.
Show never happened.
Yeah, so like we, you know, and we like to take blame for that. No,
but that's better.
Better. The show didn't happen and we weren't on it. It just was nice for people who weren't us and people who weren't in St. Louis, people who weren't in our high school, people who weren't at that show to say, you guys are interesting. There's something going on. So once that was kind of living in the back of our brains, but then we went on and went to college, went to the University of Michigan. We almost went to law school. Both of us got in.
You went to college together.
Yes.
College together.
That's a choice. And was that is that because you wanted to maintain your ability to do comedy?
I think we loved being together in the back of our minds. And I think we also knew like that there was something special about us being together. And I think ultimately we both said we made our decisions independently of each other, and we applied to three schools. Our parents were like, you have to apply to the same schools because we're not sending you on different trips. Like 3 trips that you're going on and 3 schools. That's what you get. You can take 2 trips if you get into your 2 favorite schools. We got into all 3, and we ended up choosing Michigan because it felt the closest to us.
It's a great school, too.
Great school. Both my daughters are there now. So, I mean,
it's beautiful. I want my son to go there. I mean, I've taken him on college.
My brother, not a twin, but we both went to Cornell because my brother wanted to go there. My dad had gone there. And I went because my dad said, I don't care where you go, but I'm sending the check to Cornell.
That's
funny. Why I went.
I just took my son to Cornell and he loved it. And we just visited. We were in Ithaca on Monday.
Yeah, but you weren't there in the middle of the winter.
And while we were there, I made sure he watched the national championship game of Michigan winning the national championship. I'm like, Cornell's not going to win a national championship in basketball, but also, if you love it here, I'm going to send you here. Like, if you can get in here, this is a very amazing school, and this is, I want to support you in what you do, because that's the thing. Our parents supported us in our decision. I mean, we were like heading to law school. We were on our way to going to law schools. We both got accepted to different
separate law schools. But like, I got into George Washington. I'm like, this is where I'm going to go. I think this is what I'm going to do.
There's going to be a lot of crime in Washington in the decades to come.
Washington in the future. No, but I was like, I guess I'm going to be a lawyer, and I'll be funny maybe I'll be a performance trial lawyer and be, use humor within what I'm doing to be better. Yeah. That was my thought. And I'm like, this is a safe path.
Bethany Bailey was hilarious.
His closer, his big rap song finish. And I was going to go to Emory, and where my wife went.
If the glove doesn't fit, you must acquit. That's essentially a rap song.
That's a bit. Rap finish.
Hold on, Phil. I don't know this about you. Did you ever, I was assuming I was going to go to law school.
Yeah.
And then I got saved from that and the legal profession got saved from that. Did you ever? You went to Hofstra and were sort of doing acting. Was there any pressure on
do
you
anything else?
or self-imposed?
No, my folks were also very supportive, but they did say you should have
A backup.
something to fall back on.
backup plan. Yeah.
Which
What was that for you?
I ignored them.
You didn't have a backup. When
No.
you have a plan B, then you don't have a plan A.
How did that work out? Okay.
It's all right.
When you have two quarterbacks, you don't have one. That's what they say. All right. So
You go with
you have
your
plan A and you go balls to the wall and you try and figure it out.
If you're going to be stupid enough to be in show
try this.
business, then
and you nobody in our family. It's not like we had an uncle Steve who was like went out to LA to be a comic and could tell us about the whole thing were
But we loved it. We loved it. We studied it. We studied comedy.
Me too.
This is what we tell people
Yes.
when people come to us, because
Yes.
they come to us all the time. How do I? I'm sure you get this.
have you put in your 10,000 hours?
right. Well, what we,
we
say
tell them
is,
it's going to take you 10 years to figure out if you
10
can even
years
do this forward.
that's your
Minimum.
that is the actual number
Yeah.
of years it takes after college, I think, before you realize, oh, nobody is waiting for you. You have to do it yourself. But you guys were doing it at 14. You were
14.
already doing it. So I'm guessing in college you did more.
we did more. We started doing more, but
and
like
then we didn't know. We didn't know what we were going to do. And summer between our junior and senior year, we're like, we're going to go to New York this summer.
Yeah.
We're going to work for HBO Downtown Productions. They do stand up, and short attention span theater. The two shows on Comedy Central that showed clips. We reached out to them.
But again, this is how dumb we were and how coming from a not inside, from an outside, we were like, we'll go and work as PAs here. This will make some money. We'll live in New York City. We'll try and do stand up because we've done it at the Comedy Club in Detroit and in Ann Arbor and in St. Louis.
Over college.
through college.
We'll get up at the comedy clubs and we'll just kind of get in and start doing stand up.
Yeah.
And then we'll be so funny, like at work, they'll be like, we should put you guys on. I mean, that was our thinking, which is just so now after the fact,
Also,
it's just wrong.
Healthy naivete.
Healthy naivete.
Yes.
That's right.
How the INT. So we apply and we go to New York. We have an interview. We interview together. We're like, we'd love to work together at this job. It's like weird. Like if they take 4 interns, are they going to take 2 from the same family? Probably not. But we pitch ourselves and we did a funny, whole hilarious, like fake publishers clearinghouse thing that we sent to them that they could win
They
both
won
of us.
you?
Yeah,
They win
Not
us.
just
interns.
one, but two.
2
Yeah.
interns. Ed McMahon
If
will
you
be
act now.
drunk and he'll deliver us to you. And
Yes.
all these jokes in the whole thing that we wrote, it was very creative. And then we told our friend in New Jersey who went to Cornell, our best friend who we ended up living with in New York City and writing comedy with. And he went on to become a showrunner for a lot of kids shows out here. He's a hilarious writer, Eric Friedman. We said, hey, apply for this internship. And the 3 of us will be 3 of the 4 interns and we'll do stand up. We'll live together in New York. He's like, I'll do it. He applies for the internship. He gets it and we don't.
Oh no.
So now we're like, we don't know what to do this summer. So we go back to St. Louis. We work for a production company in St. Louis and we look at each other and we say, we're going to get good at stand up this summer. We're going to do
We're just going to do it as much as we can.
open mic, every club that's open. And there were 3 clubs in St. Louis. Funny Bone in West County, Funny Bone South County, and there was a club
Catch a Rising Star
at
in Union
Union Station. It was early 90s. It was like the high point, 93, the high point of comedy in this country.
Too much comedy.
Too much. Too many clubs. It was like expansion baseball. If they added 6 teams a year, you'd be like,
The talent goes down.
so we would go up every night, every week, 3-4 times a week. And by the middle of the summer, we started putting on paid nights. And we moved up a level.
To the point where we were opening for people. And we were like,
Anybody you open for who is still around?
do we open for Reg? Do we ever open for John Regi?
Maybe.
So I think we might have worked with John. I saw John like perform, and now he's like, we wrote a pilot with him like in the early like 20 years ago, and then we're working on another thing with him now. I mean, this is like someone who we love.
And you know Lou Schneider?
Yes,
Lou?
of course. Gorgeous Lou
sorry.
Schneider. I know. Well, I knew him from the Comedy Central days. So this is like later,
And
but
for the kids out there, John Regi, a big on 30 Rock, right, among other things.
Larry Sanders, 30 Rock. He now writes on the 4 Seasons. He's written on like everything.
Genius writer. So we really worked our way up. But this is another pivotal moment in our path, and I have to give a shout out to this guy because he was so special to us.
And you know him and love him.
Randy and I were the biggest fans. Our favorite comedian that nobody knew who outside of comedy lovers was Andy Kindler. We're like, this guy is so funny. and so irreverent.
Nobody's
I mean, one joke that he told, and we've told this before, is the joke that we're like, we're yours forever. Just a simple joke about the crock pot. He's like, yeah, sure. If I'm hungry in 17 hours, let me get a cracker. Let me get a cracker. That's
Great
funny.
joke. On its own, it's a great joke.
Let me get a cracker. Then he turns to the audience and say, 8 years of mime lessons and I still open the cabinet door into my face. I'm like, forget
That's
it.
the greatest. You
Forget
have
it.
us for
You
life.
have us for life. That's the funniest thing ever. And it informed the way we looked at comedy and because he was coming kind of out of that.
First person to ever tell a joke and then comment on that joke. First person we'd ever seen who's ever done that. I don't think anybody did that before him. It was
Before
revolutionary.
Gaffigan, before...
Oh, it was before the voice
pre.
guy. It was pre. It was 90, 91, 92, 93. So we're in St. Louis over a Christmas break of our senior year. We're going to law school. We're on our way. We got accepted. And we
a deposit from your parents? Yeah.
Not yet, no deposit
deposit.
yet,
Good.
but we got in. We see that Andy Kindler is playing New Year's Eve in St. Louis. Of all places, of all dates to play New Year's, Andy is not the comic who should be playing New Year's. He's not the comic who should be playing St. Louis, Missouri. But he had an HBO half-hour special.
It's only a show for other comics.
Sure.
100%.
His show is the best show if you're a comic.
Hilarious. So
Yes.
funny. So we grab a friend of ours who was like our dearest friend, one of our comedy buddies who went to Northwestern. And we're like, we're going to see the show.
Yeah.
So we race down, we go see the show. Andy is being so funny. We're so
dying.
funny. We are dying. I cannot breathe. And half the audience is getting it and half the audience is hating it.
Well,
'cause
the
it's
funniest
A
is
third of
when,
the audience leaves.
the funniest is when he's bombing.
Well,
There's
yeah.
nothing funny.
And to the point where some woman said something and he said, "Where's your HBO special?" to a woman who was on her way out the door. I mean, it was so great. He must have.
It's like Larry David, right? And I know,
yeah.
100%.
It's like that comedian who he seems to thrive on the.
He grows. It almost like you see this guy like grow in strength and power as people start to like be combative with him. We were obsessed. It was the most magical night. We loved it. We're like, we have to talk to him after.
Yeah.
So we go up to talk to him. And I'm sure now as comics who've headlined and had some not great sets, you don't want to talk to anybody after that set. But we find him side of the stage, Catch Rising Star St. Louis at Union Station. And we said, "Andy, we're the biggest fans of yours ever." And he's like, "Oh, you're the two who are here tonight." And we said, "Listen."
Like his favorite joke is like, I did some focus groups on my comedy. And I found out my audience, my target demo is people who are my age who are me. Such a great joke.
Andy, the
Andy,
great. We're
Andy.
killing with your material, Andy. I hope you're watching. All right. So we said, "Andy, can we book you to come to the University of
We'll bring
Michigan?"
in the Michigan because we bring comics every month. And he's like, yeah, here's,
He's like, "I can't believe I got a booking off of this show."
Tom Ingenio's number over at Omnipop. Tom
Great.
Ingenio. We call him up and we call him up. We just go straight. Hey, we just met Andy. We're comedians ourselves. We want to bring him out.
He said, "Great.
Give him some
We're like,
money.
"What does he get for a thing?" And he said, "I don't know. He gets this amount of money." And we're like, "We'll double it." And the guy's like, "Wait, you're negotiating with us?" And we're like, "We love Andy. We love Andy. We'll go get our budget and we'll go spend it on him." So we go get Andy to come.
We bust ass and get like 300 people to show up at this event, and we opened for him. And we said, "Andy, will you please just watch our material? Just watch our material and tell us what you think." And so
Now, this is like 8 years after the first time we got on stage. But, we hadn't been doing it consistently. But we did it for a summer, and we had been going through that year and going into Detroit to Mark Ridley's Comedy Castle and Ann Arbor Comedy Showcase. We've been working it a little bit.
Yes.
And so we wanted a genuine assessment. And so we took Andy out for pancakes afterwards, and he was so gracious and so great and so grateful for the show. And we said, "What do you think, Andy?" And he said, "All right, this is what I think." He's like, "I think you guys are funny. I think you guys are funny."
you guys are so funny when we're hanging out. Like you have a thing, like the kind of what was echoed from earlier by this project. There's something super interesting. He's like, you need to get to a coast. You need to either, I'm in LA or you got
Go to LA or New York. He's like, "I think you need to get rid of all your material and start over again. But I think if you start over and go to a coast and work
where there's a
with
great scene that pushes you to write new material, you guys can do it and you'll be on TV by the time you're 25. This is what he said to us. So we said it. We had a great thing. We race home. We call our parents, Dick and Annette Sklar.
Your dad drove you, put you in the back of the car.
Dick and Annette Sklar, which we always said our parents' greatest names in the history of parents' names.
Brings to the surface our old favorite joke. How do you catch a dick?
With Annette.
Thank you.
All right, it's good.
It's a wonderful joke. I mean, it's
a good joke.
Do they like that joke?
They love it. They loved it.
Loved.
Because my dad loved it because he was the subject of the joke. So we called Dick and Annette and we're like, before they could say hi, we said, Andy said we don't have to go to law school. And they're like, who the hell is Andy? And what are you talking about? We said, we just had, dinner with this comedian who we brought to the school, and it's all the things he said. And we said, we believe him because he didn't give us only compliments. He said, there's something there, but this isn't ready.
The material.
Yeah.
The material isn't ready. He gave us a very honest, we knew he was being honest because he's like, this is not good enough, but you guys are good and this isn't good enough. And
did he direct you in a way to focus on a different kind of material?
No, he just said get to a scene that will push and look at what people are doing essentially, and
then
more relevant.
Yes, and then we moved to New York, and he came to New York to do a set on Conan. And he's like, "You want to come around with me when I'm doing sets?" And we said, "Sure." And then he was at the Boston Comedy Club to
Masavi, the guy who was booking the club, this really
Barry Katz's club, and he said,
know him. Yeah.
You know Barry?
He's like, dude, Barry Katz. I love the Sklar Brothers.
He said. Andy's like, these guys? And of course, no one knew us because we hadn't done anything. And he's like,
I was like, no. He's like, put these guys on. They're great. They're great. Andy said that, which was really nice. Another person who said that, I was a PA on Exit 57, the old sketch show that was one of the first jobs I got when we moved to New York, because we said to our parents, we're going to defer law school for a year. If this doesn't, that's only a year. We're like, a year. If it doesn't work, we'll go to law school, but we want to try and make it in New York. And you don't have to spend $1. We'll get jobs. We'll find our place. You don't have to spend anything on this. We will do it. And I got a job as a PA on Exit 57. Mark Cohen, who's the great Mark Cohen, who played Sarah Silverman's father on her show, and just a great comedian who one time in the middle of his A-list set that wasn't going well, he just shouted at the audience, Sheket Bavakasha. And some people said, hey, and he was like, Jews. Love Mark. So he's a warm-up comic at the live performances over at
X57 is Stephen Colbert, Amy Sedaris, Paul Dinello,
Mitch Rouse, Cindy Campanera, great writer on SNL, like incredible. It was like and Jody Lennon. I love these people so much. They're amazing. And I was like a PA, but also trying to make it and trying to do it there. And Mark Cohen said to Ted Schachter, who was a manager years ago, what was the place that he was at? I forget where he was at. They were standing outside, he was about to go in and do this thing, and I'm just standing outside talking to Mark Cohen because we met him at the Boston Comedy Club. Yeah. And Mark says to Ted, apropos of nothing, I think he maybe seen us once or maybe not. Mark's like, you seen him and his brother? Have you seen these guys? And Ted Schachter's like, no, who are they? And he's like, these guys are so goddamn funny. You should talk to them. And so we started talking. It just was such a wonderful gesture that he did not have to do, that he did for us, that we'll never forget.
But it's
great.
It's moments like that in the come up that inform how you then become towards everybody else for the rest of your career and your life. If you pay it forward forever.
Or you act that way for other people. You say, I'm going to go, you want me to come and watch you do a set, or I'll give you my opinion. This is what I think you should do. And I'll take my time.
Or we'll sit and watch your headlining set and we'll write a ton of tags for you and you take them. We do a show right now called Tag It. We're doing it for Netflix as a joke festival. Rainey and I sit on stage. We're like, we're going to be a writer's room for your comedy set. You do your set. We sit in real time and on our notes section of our phone, write a bunch of tags, and we pitch them to you afterwards, and you take them with you.
On stage, in front of the audience, we pitch the tags.
We've done it for Sandler. We've done it for Spade. We've done it for Sarah Silverman. Pete Holmes has used tags in his special. Brett Goldstein.
Wow.
All of it. It's so fun, and it's so joyous, and it represents everything I think we try to embody in this world and everything that we believe in. A friend of ours, Brad Meltzer, who's a great author and writer. I'm sure you know him. He's written a ton of best-selling books.
I don't know him, but I know who he is.
He's a wonderful guy and a dear friend of ours from Michigan.
Yeah.
We were on a hike, Randy and I, with another friend, a group of friends, around Mount Blanc in Switzerland. It was a beautiful trip.
That's where they make the pens.
They do.
Yes.
They make the pens.
So we're walking around Mount Blanc, and he starts telling this story about Simon Sinek. Do you know him?
Very well.
He's been on our podcast.
He's been on your pod. Okay. So his unbelievable sort of breakout TED Talk was about finding your why, and sort of using Apple versus Gateway computers as the example. Apple Gateway started with the what, and then they went to the how, and then they went to the why. But at the core, Apple did the why, and that's why they're so successful compared to the other. Because they're like, Gateway's we're going to make computers that are cheap for people, and we're going to do it this way, and then that's all we're going to do.
And why? Because people need computers. Great idea and great thought, and it was
Apple's we're going to change your life. We're going to put you on the cutting edge of technology, and we're going to improve your life, and we're going to make you part of the thing that's the next thing. And then how are we going to do that? We're going to make computers. And what are we going to, that's it. So they went the other way. And so he was going to meet with Brad because he wanted to write a book about it. And Brad said to him, all right, come to Florida. This is back when Simon's, and he's younger. And he's like, come to Florida and I'll help you with this book proposal for the first half of the day, and the second half of the day, you tell me my why. They decided, okay? And
meanwhile, like, Brad's like, there's no way he's going to tell me what my why is. Brad was so skeptical, and he's like a very positive person, but he's like, there's no way he's going to tell me what my why is.
So Simon asked him all these questions, like, what were your growing up like? What were your friends like? What was your relationship with your parents? Tell me about these books. Tell me about the characters in your book. And by the end of like 6 hours, he's like, I have your why. And Brad's like, okay. All right. Tell me my why. You tell me what my why is. And he said, you believe that regular people can save the world. And Brad was like, oh my God. That is the center of every book that I've ever written. He writes like, the book about the 10th Justice, which is about Supreme Court and the person who I don't want to give anything away. You should go read the book. But like the person at the center who has to save the world is just a law clerk. It's just like the lowly. It's not the high person. It's the wife of the brother who's been kidnapped in a future book who has to like save the world. That was it. He nailed it. So he nailed it. So of course Brad's telling me this story, and because I'm a comedian and borderline narcissist, I'm like, what's our why?
That borderline is not fair.
Yeah, that's not
borderline personality.
And
I'm like, what is our why? I'm starting to think about what's our why. We have this 7-hour hike down this thing, and about 2 hours after he tells this story, we're talking about other stuff, and I'm like, I got it. I've got our why. I know what our why is, Randy and me. And I grab Randy and I'm like, okay, I figured out our why. This is it in a sentence. We are better together.
No. This is it. He said, we're going to make cheap computers.
No. Here's the why. I said, we are better together than we are individually. That is the story of our lives. It's the story of our lives since we came out of the womb. We are better together than we are individually. We believe it in the comedy community. That's why we do a show called Tag It, where we bring people together to show that comedy is a community. No one writes a joke by themselves. We love being in a writer's room. We love helping other comics. We love Andy did it for us and we're doing it for other people. We love that moment. It's like still emblazoned in our minds.
Yeah.
We love meeting people. We love hanging with people. We love connecting people. Be like, you should meet this person because I think you guys would be great together. This is a great idea for you. We heard this thing. It's not for us, but it's for you. We're always just doing that because our dream, whether we can do it or not, is if we can, while we were in this business, somehow help build community at all, to the smallest degree, then we're doing.
That's the legacy. Because, we've been doing this now for 30 years and 30 plus years. We're like, all right, well, what is the thing we're leaving behind? And what's the thing you want most people to say about you when you are gone and whatnot? And we're like, we just want to be known as the people who tried to make it better when they were there for the whole thing, not just for us. We're a second. That's the why is how do we make this better through connection and through people?
It's interesting you say that because working on a lot of shows where we do in memoriams, I am always have to keep track of who dies. And one thing I have noticed as I get older, and I know more and more people who are going, I find people break into a group where everybody has a great story.
Yeah.
And everyone has a story about how the thing they did for them and the moment they made a difference in their lives or just supported them in some way. And then there's people who nobody has that story.
Yeah.
And like, it's one of those lessons that as you get older, you go, be somebody who makes a difference beyond your own life.
Right. And you can't fake that, as Rasheed Wallace, the great sage Rasheed Wallace once said when he was called for a foul and the person stepped in.
And he didn't believe it was a foul.
Didn't believe it was a foul. The person stepped in the line and shot the free throw and it didn't go in. Rasheed Wallace shouted, "Ball don't lie." The ball don't lie. In that situation,
right.
No one's going to tell the story of how you left a great legacy if you didn't leave a great legacy.
Yep.
They have no reason to in that moment. But anyway, that's not also why you do it. You do it to like make the whole world that we enter into a better world and a better place. And that's just super important for us. And that is kind of what, I don't know. Like, I believe comics can come from so many different, outcomes in so many different places. Like those comedians that have come from like very broken homes and very difficult pasts and whatnot. Sometimes their painful material that comes out of it is like the most beautiful and incredible stuff ever. And it's healing for them and it's healing for other people who have gone through it. I don't think that's the only way you can be a comedy person. Like you can have, like you had, tremendous support from your parents. Like they infuse you and you're a loving house that you grew up in. And that actually gives you the confidence.
We always said our parents like infused us with like overconfidence. We're like, we could have been models.
Right. We could have been.
We could have been. Right. If I ate better, I probably could have been a model. Like absurd. But like that level of support also can generate somebody who thinks that they can do it.
About that attractive thing.
Yeah.
And I find you both fetching in different ways. And I've learned, who has the mustache.
That's what I wanted. That's what I wanted when I walked in here. More than the beautiful salad from Goop is I wanted that compliment from David Wild.
But I do have a question about
In the Wild. That's your next podcast.
I definitely have met your wife and seen you. I have the sense you both married very impressive, great women, successful in their own right and interesting in their own right. I wondered, like, there was a pair of twins. By the way, my father was a twin.
Yeah, we talked about this when we talked about. I remember talking about this.
My nephews are twins. My wife wanted to have twins so she could get through the birthing process and possibly the siring process.
One shot.
Yes, in one shot. But I always wondered, there were two twins in my class in high school, the Poole sisters. And I remember the thought of, one is really hot.
Yeah.
I was like, and that teaches you it's not all about its style, its personality.
Oh yeah.
But I wondered, with girls in high school, what was the sort of, were you both so overrun with women throwing themselves at you that you could just choose who you wanted, or how does it break down? Did you have girls who were in love with both of you?
So go ahead.
Well, no, I think when we were in high school, because we were so into comedy and nobody was into comedy, we were like, and that's not the kind of comedy that like high school kids like. The stuff like our bit about Andy Kindler opening the cabinet into his face. That's not like what a girl wants to hear when you want to like connect with her at like prom. But for us, it's like hilarious. So we always said in our minds, you guys will love us in like 10 years. Right now we're on an island and we're fine with each other, but we definitely dated, and we dated different women, and I mean, I think
good.
You still date different women.
We still date different women.
Don't tell my wife.
Yeah, please don't tell our wife.
Do you live near each other?
He lives in the Hollywood Hills and I'm over in Silver Lake, which is great because they're two separate communities.
Yep.
What we found, and we're doing and mounted a two-man show, kind of like in the vein of like Alex Edelman's show, in the vein of the Birbiglia shows and Neil Brennan. Show about
personal story.
About identity. And when we were 6 weeks old,
this is an insane story.
We may have been switched as kids, but the only way our mom could tell us apart, because we looked so alike, was the color of diaper pin that we had.
Yeah.
And so
I believe there was a TV show that looked into this and felt it didn't happen, but I don't know if that's true.
Oh no, it definitely did happen. And so
there was a This American Life about this.
Right.
So our mom
about you two,
about us, about this.
To hear that,
you have to listen to.
So our mom took us to, she was overwhelmed, 2 babies and
25 years old.
Oh God. So, and she took us to like get checked up, to weigh us and measure us, to make sure we were growing properly. And the woman who was the nurse so kindly put Pampers on us, and then handed our mom the diaper pins in a baggie. And our mom was like, who had which one? And she's like, I don't know.
She's like, you don't know the difference?
And the nurse was like, you don't know the difference? And our mom was like, oh my God.
Oh,
and
that's great.
This is why I recommend circumcise one.
Right. Circumcise one, cut off a finger, do whatever you can. So they just, and our dad kind of and then the way our dad was kind of like confident,
weirdly self-confident,
and wanted to calm our mom down, was like, that's Randy, that's Jason, what's for dinner? I mean, he was kind of like, he kind of just,
that's very zen.
And they didn't and they could have gone back and checked, and they could have looked at our handprints versus the prints that came there. I mean, they could have definitely checked.
They just were in their 20s.
Yeah, like when we were in our 20s.
So you don't know who's who.
So later in life, I was throwing stuff away at my house because
we found out about this when we were 10. When we were 10, we found out that this happened to us when we were younger.
You may not be you.
Right. And also that they didn't know, which was its own weird.
And they didn't care.
Well, that they
blew past it and didn't care enough to find out. And like it was intense. And
when you say intense, you were upset.
We were upset. We were angry. We were angry.
We said to our mom, "You got to go to jail." That was like our brains of just 10 years old.
Great.
You got to call.
I thought that every day, but
you got to go.
Right. So we were just like, you got this is a jailable offense.
So, but the whole play is roughly that's the kind of the smile. When we were older, we found a footprint when we were like 48 years old that actually was like a memento from the hospital. I found it in an envelope that I had never seen in the back of a baby book I had never seen, and here was this thing with lines. And so,
the day you're born.
Yeah,
from like
the week we were born.
With the name.
With the name.
One name.
And were you?
So then we went to a forensic scientist.
We're not telling you. You got to go see the show.
This is fantastic.
So the show is called The Born Identity.
Great.
We
undid the pun.
In parentheses, who the F are we?
I love this. This is what you're working on right now.
Yeah, so right now it's
when can we see this?
This is going to be at the South Coast Repertory Theater down there.
Great.
I love that theater. David Ivers, who's the artistic director down there, is directing it. Evan Shapiro, I'm sure you know who he is. He's fantastic.
He ran,
except for the name thing.
I know.
Great.
Love
I'm not buying that.
Evan Shapiro, wonderful dude in New York.
He ran IFC for years. He developed Portlandia. He was just.
Isn't that the best tease for a show you ever heard? Now we have to.
Now you got to come see the show.
I got to see it. So that next summer it's going to be up there.
But it's all about identity and all about what makes us who we are, and also this identity of some of the things we learn is how you view your parents and the decisions they made. Like when you become a parent, when your identity switches from person to parent.
So you're a little more forgiving now.
Yeah, you start to see your parents as people. So
and they shouldn't be in jail.
And I
feel like the more coddled, spoiled, and I say this about myself, the longer it takes to realize that. Like, I don't think I'm stupid.
Yeah.
But that's one of the things that took me too long to realize.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have. I think, like you said, there's comedy minds tortured. Like I got to be around Richard Pryor towards the end, and I sense that's a guy who dealt with some crazy shit, and it made him and handled it in a way that's made it the most brilliant, maybe the most brilliant comic mind ever.
I mean, he decided to lean into the truth. And by the way, he was like an incredible comic who would do like impressions of like his dad and stuff. And you're like, you are one of the best comics there, but you transcended everything when you just started telling the truth about your life and what you did and leaning into it in such a way and how you took the truthful things that happened to you and made it funny. Because more than just saying the truth. Anybody can just tell the truth. That's an AA meeting. You just tell the truth. But to then, within that, perceive something that's why he was...
Did you ever have that moment when you were young and you were writing about what's happening in school, and then now you're going to go into a professional circumstance? Did you think, well, it worked in school because we could write very specifically about school, and that's a thing we know. Now we're out in the world where there's all these subjects. We're not experts in that. We're experts in what we know. And I always tell people, yes, exactly. Mm-hmm. So write about stuff that's happened to you.
Absolutely.
Because that's the whole world is made up of people who will relate to that just because your specific is a specific.
Totally. And what we learned from writing this play really is the first version.
It's a thing.
It's a thing. Let's just call it a piece.
We're calling it a thing.
It's a thing.
It's an experience, it's like the Jimi Hendrix.
It's right. It's like so what we
learned.
One
of us will swallow our own vomit at the end. At the end of the show.
So what we learned from writing this thing is that the earlier versions of it were very didactic in a way of explaining what we were trying to do with this thing. And we'd explain it on stage. What we're going to do tonight is talk about this, and this is what we're going to talk about, and this is why, and this and the other. What we realized is that's not our job. Our job is to, like you said, put forth our story and allow anybody to take away whatever they want from it, whatever that is for you. If your story, if you connect with our parents in this story, great. If you connect with us in this story, if you're a young person and you connect with the way our kids mistreat us as teenagers when they were teenagers, you'll connect with the kids.
People think, but this was so specific to me, no one will relate. Yes, they will.
Even
because
better.
They have a specific in their life. They're going to relate just because you got detailed.
Sure. And if it's a compelling story, that's compelling. A lot of people say, I wish you said we want to have twins. A lot of people are like, I wanted to know what it's like to have a twin.
Right.
I wish I was a twin. We get a lot of that at our comedy shows. I wish I had a twin.
Have that connection.
Yes, a tiny level of wish fulfillment.
Right.
I want someone to finish my sentences.
Right.
And to which I say it's been 54 years and I haven't been able to finish one sentence.
Yes.
Why is this?
I have one
You can also
question.
get married.
Yes,
That's right.
true.
That's another
Then you never get to start a sentence.
I have one question because I think I'm going to wrap up this interview and then I'm going to beg you to stay for another thing, which I'll explain.
Sure, great.
But I guess the one question is, having dealt with so many brothers, having had a brother, having watched Phil and Richard, his brother, and their serious and or comedic fighting, what is the longest time with you two being so engaged in each other's lives that you've ever not communicated?
Journalist, like unbelievable questions, the probing questions that go deep. These are the things that people want to know.
I know.
Legend.
How long have we not communicated with each other or been away from each other?
The longest break you've had from communicating with one another.
It's coming after this.
Are you talking after a fight or something, or
No, just in general. He's saying in general. I mean, maybe a couple weeks. Like not more than that. Not more than a few weeks.
Where you were mad?
Where we were either mad or across the world from each other. I remember this is okay. I was on my honeymoon with my wife a year. I should be on my honeymoon with my wife as opposed to another woman.
Right.
And you were mad he didn't take you?
No, he was mad. No, he's got mad at something else. So two things from this trip that are amazing, and they're really quick stories, and I'm going to share them with you. One, we're at this, we couldn't go to a honeymoon after our wedding, so we went a year later. We went down to South America. We went to Chile and Argentina. We stayed at a place called the Explorer Lodge. If you have not been, I highly recommend you go. They make all their own food, and it's brilliant. And they do these tours around Torres del Paine in Patagonia, and it's incredible, right? We go down and stay at this hotel, and it's the bottom of the earth. Like we went down near Antarctica and then took a bus back up.
You saw penguins.
I saw penguins. I went back up. I'm in this park in the middle of nowhere, and the woman who runs the hotel starts walking towards me with a cordless phone. And I'm like, this is when our dad was alive. I said, oh shit, dad died. That was my first thought because he wasn't a healthy guy.
Yeah.
I grab the phone. Before I can say hi, it's Randy. And he says,
Dad's fine.
Dad didn't die.
I didn't even say anything. No, I didn't. I was just like, I know that's what he's going to think of when a woman comes with a phone to like go.
Dad didn't die. That's the only reason why he'd be bothering me on my thing. I said, well, why are you calling? He's like, Arrested Development wrote a thing for us to do in the show. Like small,
a bit,
small bit to do.
Yeah. But for our thing, we're always like, give us the smallest thing. We don't care. We're going to do it so well that you're going to want us to come back.
Nice.
We're going to do, it's like, give us the tiniest opening and we'll bust through it and make it a longer.
So he said, I'm like, okay, great. When does it shoot? He's like, Thursday. It's Monday. I'm in Patagonia. I'm like, I'm sorry. I can't. He's like, talk about it with your wife. I'm like, you mean like rip the brand new show?
Create a problem.
So I did, which is like dumb. That's
ask
like
your first wife.
Yes. So I was literally like,
ask your future first wife.
So I said, well, what can I do in this situation? She's like, I guess you can look into flights, but she was really not happy. And I'm like, okay. So I looked into flights. It was too impossible. I'm like, how long is this stuff and other stuff? And I ended up not doing it. We ended up not doing it.
Like if it was more significant, I think we would.
But he was like a little upset. And then we didn't talk for like 2.5 weeks until I came back. I was like, I'm going to leave him alone. I cost him a job because I'm away in my life and my life went on and we're part of this thing. And I felt really bad. And we did not speak for like 20 days, which is probably the longest we went without speaking. This is 2005. So I was like, I better get him a nice gift, right? So we went to a winery in the middle of Chile, and this is like second day of this trip, and we get drunk in the thing because the pours are ridiculous. And I'm like, we should bring back wine to my wife. And she's like, yeah, but how? We got 20 more days on this trip. I'm like, we're going to grab this wine and I'll carry it on my back and I'll give it to people and I'll tell them the story of how I carried it on my back like a Sherpa,
like a wine mule.
I'm drunk. So I'm like, they're like, we can ship these back to your house. I'm like, how much is it? I'm like, I'll carry it on my back. So I take 6 bottles. I give one to my neighbor. I go to Randy with a peace offering. I'm like, this special bottle. I know it doesn't make up for me costing us getting this really important job on one of the best shows in the history of television that we always wanted to be on, and I'm sorry I didn't do it. But this is a special bottle of wine from this very special winery here in Thing. 2 days after I'm back from the trip, I'm at Trader Joe's. I look down at the lowest shelf, $4.99, this bottle of wine, and 40 of them there. Like, damn you, Trader Joe's. So now I have to go back to everyone I gave it to and say, I didn't get it at Trader Joe's. This is actually from
The actual place.
It got real chilly.
That's hysterical.
That is a great story. It is also the best Trader Joe's commercial we could ever have. We want this is our sponsorship
Sponsor
deal.
of the show,
Trader Joe's.
Well, thank you guys. This is a great honor to have both of you on.
Thank you.
But
I only wanted one. I will tell you.
You did not get your way.
You tried
Phil.
to get me to choose. Thank you.
It's a Sophie's choice that no one, not even Meryl Streep would want to make.
Next week on Naked Lunch, singer-songwriter Matt Nathanson joins this conversation and goes to extremes discussing the greatness of Billy Joel.
Oh, the question was, tell us about that experience of playing Billy Joel, getting
For Billy
rave
Joel.
reviews, doing Miami 2017, I believe you did, which is amazing.
So I did,
to me because-
I did go to Extremes and then Miami 2017. I did kind of an
Amazing.
acoustic solo version of Go to Extremes, which Phil, to call back to what you were saying, his songs are so bulletproof that you can take them apart.
Yes.
And when you take them apart, I think they could hang being heavy metal songs, folk songs,
Acoustic.
They're just
Structurally sound.
structurally sound and melodically next
Yes.
level. So
Yes.
I did Go to Extremes, and then I did Miami 2017 with his band. So I got to
that blew me away. That song still blows me away, especially now because I love it. It's always been one of my favorites, along with Summer Highland Falls.
He used to
Love
open
Summer Highland
Okay,
Falls.
Those are
He
two of my
opened his
those are-
concerts with that Miami 2017.
But
Yeah.
it just
And
hit me. 2017 used to be something I would think
It's 8
as
years
the
ago.
science fiction
9
for
years
our
ago.
future.
Yeah.
It's
I felt the
9 years
same way
ago.
about Escape from New York when they said like the prison in 20 whatever, and we passed that in the movie.
What about 1999?
Yeah,
I mean-
we've gone past all the crazy.
Naked Lunch is a podcast by Phil Rosenthal and David Wild. Theme song and music by Brad Paisley. Produced by Will Sterling and Ryan Tillotson. With video editing by Daniel Ferreira. And motion graphics by Ali Ahmed. Executive produced by Phil Rosenthal, David Wild, and our consulting journalist is Pamela Chellan. If you enjoyed the show, share it with a friend. But if you can't take my word for it, take Phil's.
And don't forget to leave a good rating and review. We like 5 stars, you know.
Thanks for listening to Naked Lunch, a Lucky Bastards production.